It's 8:09 this morning. Well, in these times, it's good to know which credit card is best for you. There are more than 275 on offer. So how on earth do you choose the right one?
Yeah, and which of the stingers haven't passed on the cut in interest rates? Not many. Our mates at CANSTAR CANNEX have come up with the best deals around with the low rates, low fees and long interest-free periods. We're joined by their credit card expert, Peter Arnold. Pete, good morning to you. Now, the Reserve Bank has cut interest rates 3% over the last couple of months. How many have passed it on and how much?
Good morning, guys. Well, less than half have actually passed anything on. And only one's passed at least half on. So leading the way so far, we have one of Melbourne's credit unions, MECU, who's passed on 1.75%. Next in line, we've got Commonwealth Bank, who have just announced their second round of rate cuts, bringing their total cut to 1% out of the 3%, and that's across all their cards. The rest of the major banks, and Citibank, who's another big player in the credit cards, they've all passed on 0.75% on some of their cards. OK,
even though official rates have come down 3%, that's all they've done. Apparently the average reduction is just 0.25%, which means the banks are making, or all the credit card companies, $2.4 million a day on what they've held back. In fact, AMP Bank's Amex Gold credit card has actually put its rates up 2%
How on earth
in
do
that
they
period,
justify that?
And Suncorp has lifted theirs 0.84%.
Wow.
So some have gone.
Yes, we actually have seen. We actually have seen a few going up, and yeah, the average cut is quite low, but
it's hopeless.
It is a different market to the residential mortgages. It is a lot harder to fund, and also we're seeing a lot more default rates.
It's about 20% difference though,
Peter, come on.
Yes, David.
But
I'm not saying there's an excuse.
The difference.
No, I'm not saying it justifies it entirely, but I'm saying it does differ to the residential mortgages.
Yeah, because there's what, about
to see
18% difference?
Yeah, that's right.
So that's
a pretty big margin for risk.
We would love to see them pass more on, but we have to accept that it is, yes.
They're just
but we've got to accept it's slightly different.
All right.
For a rainy day.
Let's get into the best of the different types. There are different cards for different kinds of spenders. Now, what are the two main groups of spenders?
Basically, we can break it down into those who do pay their card off each month and those who don't pay their card off each month. So those who don't pay their card off each month, they might be just habitual spenders who just constantly put things on their credit cards more than they can actually afford.
Now, you've got a list here of the best cards for paying early. We've got on the screen now. So that's Citibank ANZ's Frequent Flyer, the Platinum card at CommBank, Altitude Platinum at Westpac, and the Gold credit card from American Express. They're the best ones if you do pay off on time. Now, for those who don't, who are paying late, it's totally different. And mainly credit unions.
That's right. So these are examples of the best. And as you'll see, for those who are paying their cards late, we're seeing some really good deals from the credit unions and regional banks. And for those who do pay their cards off, some of the best deals are from the bigger players, from the major banks and Citibank and American Express. Okay. They're the ones with the good rewards programs. The interest rate, it might be up around 20%, which we do see a lot of attention on these really high interest rates. But the people who should be using these cards shouldn't actually be paying interest. They're the ones who should be paying their card off each month.
Okay.
If you are paying...
Yep, go for it.
What's that, sorry? If you are paying your card off each month, you should be on a card no more than 14%. There's an abundance of low-rate cards out there for people. There's at least 70 cards on offer, so that's a quarter of all cards are under 13% at the moment. So that's giving yourself a 7% rate cut from a full rate card. So that's the best thing you can really do in this situation. Okay,
and a general rule of thumb is if you pay it off on time, then go for a card with 55 days interest-free period because you're going to pay it off on time, so you don't care what the rate's going to be because it's not going to apply to you. But if you never pay it off on time, go for a card with the lowest interest rate and no interest-free period and just work on getting it down pretty quickly.
Right. Okay.
That's exactly right. If you're paying interest on the card, don't worry about rewards. Don't don't be concerned about interest-free days. If you're always paying interest, just go for the lowest rate you possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just quickly run us through debit cards, how helpful they are and the difference between those.
Debit cards are a great way of bridging the gap. A lot of people may get a credit card so they can get the access of a credit card by using internet shopping and all the other places where you might need a Visa or a MasterCard. And by getting a debit card, they can actually use their own money, so they can't run themselves into debt.
Yeah, okay.
So that's a really good benefit there.
Yeah, I think they're a terrific initiative. Peter, good to see you. Thank you for that. Yeah,
Thanks very much, guys.
Those debit cards are really good because they do give you sort of all the convenience of a bit of plastic for online and all that sort of stuff, but you're only using the
Your
money
own
in your
money,
account,
what
so
you
don't get in
afford.
over your head.
Yeah.
It's good idea, particularly if you've got adult kids, young
Yes.
kids getting into it, rather than have a credit card, have a debit one.